All right, so here is your final test review. Woohoo, you guys did it. So here we go. We're gonna go walk through these problems, and after that I would suggest walking through these a couple of times and then go ahead and do your test and you'll be done. So here we go. So we're gonna start with these first ones. It's asking to solve each equation. So these are multi-step equations. So what I would do first, just because I don't have a lot of room underneath these problems, I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite them just so it's easier to see. Okay, and so first step, I see a lot of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute first, all right? And then I would look on this side. Okay, is there anything that I need to combine? Okay, yeah, I have 2a minus 6a. Okay, so I need to subtract those, so that's negative 4a. And then I'm going to distribute the 10. So we get negative 60a. This is 20 plus 60a minus 80. Ooh, I see something. Okay, so maybe you guys see it too. But let's go ahead and combine like terms. So the thing that I see is that when I'm combining these two, what happens? If we have a negative 60a plus a positive 60a, these can cancel. Okay, so we just have to combine these next two. So we have negative 4a is equal to 20 minus 80, which is negative 60. I'll divide by negative 4. Two negatives make a positive, so my answer over here will be 15. So D. All right, and these little squigglies, that's all it's meaning, is just A is equal to 15. Those are solutions. So let's go ahead and move on to this next one. All right, again, I'm just going to rewrite it down here. Sorry about the shadow. I have no idea how to get rid of it. It's just part of it. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. But here we go. We're just going to rewrite the problem. All right, and after I rewrite it, I'm going to distribute anywhere I see parentheses or combine like terms if I can. I can't really combine like terms yet, but let's go ahead and distribute. We get negative 2 times m is negative 2m. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And when you're distributing, make sure you're distributing to both terms, because I see a lot of people just distribute the first one, they forget the second. That's where I see a lot of mistakes happen. All right, so then we're going to combine like terms on this side or on this side. I can't really combine anything over here, so I'm just going to rewrite it. Negative 3m minus negative 3m is negative 6m minus 18. We're going to get variables on one side, constants on the other. So I'm going to remove this variable on this side. I'm going to add 6m, and then I'll get 4m minus 6 is equal to negative 18. I'll add 6. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to go over here. If I add 6 to both sides, negative 18 plus 6 will give me negative 12. And then I'll divide by 4, so we get negative 3. So A is the correct answer over here. All right, let's keep going. So you want to see how these are multi-step equations, right? There's a lot going on, but it's good. It'll prepare you for geometry. You will be masters of solving equations after this. So again, I'm just rewriting it so we can kind of work through the problem better. I'm going to distribute. So this is negative 36a. 4 times 9 is 36, right? I'm like questioning myself. 4 times 9 has always given me issues. Yeah, it is 36. Okay. So no, it's not giving me issues. I knew that. Okay, so then we have negative 36 minus 12, and then we'll distribute here. This is negative 12a. 4 times 12 is 48. Okay, we're going to combine like terms here. This is negative 36a minus 48 equals 12a plus 48. Okay, and so we're going to do variables on one side, constants on the other. That just helps me. All right, so I ran out of memory on the last video. So here's this where we left off. I said I like writing the v and the c over to make sure I leave constants on one side, variables on the other. So I'm going to move this variable over where I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So when I add 12 to 36, I should get negative 24. a minus 48 equals 48. Then I want my constants over here, so I'm going to add 48 on this side to where it cancels, and I have to do it on this side as well. So I'm left with negative 24a is equal to 48 plus 48, which is 96. And then we'll divide by negative 24, and we should get negative 4 as our answer. Okay, so a is equal to negative 4. All right, so we're going to move on to number 4. Again, I'm just going to rewrite it. All right, and so first thing we do, we look for combining like terms or distribution. So we know we have to distribute as we see these parentheses. This is negative 50 minus 10x plus 6 is equal to negative 4. Negative 4 times 2 gives me negative 8x plus 3x. And so now we have some terms that we have to combine that are similar. So we have negative 50 and 6. We gotta combine those. Then we gotta combine negative 8 and 3x on this side. So we use opposite operations every other time, but when we're working on one side of our equation, we don't use opposite operations. So 10x negative 50 plus 6 is negative 44. And then well, negative 4, negative 8 plus 3, we subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, so this is negative 5x. Now we do our variables on one side, constants on the other, so I'm going to move the 5x over to this side. And this is negative 5x minus 44 is equal to negative 4. I'm going to add 44 to this side. I'm get negative 5x is equal to 40. Is negative 4 plus 44 is 40. And then I'll divide by negative 5, and we should get negative 8. All right, so that's solving equations. That was that last lesson we learned about. And those are questions that will be similar to what's on the test. You won't have any answers like that will say all real numbers or no solution. You're just going to have whole numbers as your answers. So, or maybe decimals rounded, but you're not going to get any no solution or all real numbers for those. All right, so let's go ahead and simplify. When we simplify, I always told y'all to divide by the smallest prime number. In this case is 2. So 60 divided by 2 is 80. 80 divided by 2 is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 2 and 5. Okay, and then we will circle our pairs after that. So we have 1 pairs of 2s. So it's going to go on the outside. Then we have another pair of 2s. So one of those 2s are going to go on the outside. And then we're left with a 2 and a 5. And so we're going to keep those on the inside multiplied together. So 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 5 gives me 10. So 4 squared of 10 is my answer for that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Again, I'm just rewriting it so I have more room. So again, I'm going to divide by 2. 108 divided by 2 is 54. Then I believe that can be divided by 2 again without getting a decimal. Yep, and we get 2 and 27. And then the next number we can divide by is 3. 3 divided by 27 is 9. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I'm going to circle my pairs. Again, we have 1 pair of 2s. So I'm going to bring 1, 2 outside. We have another pair, we have a pair of 3s. So I'm going to bring 1, 3 outside. And whatever's left over is going to stay inside our radical, which is just 3. So 2 times 3. Again, make sure you're not adding. I don't think if you added, there would be an option. But 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 square root of 3 is our answer. So D. All right, let's move on to number 7. Same thing. We'll divide by the smallest number we can. We'll try 2. Since it's an odd number, we probably can't divide by 2, but we probably can divide by 3. If I divide 75 by 3, I get 25. And then 25 can be broken up between 5 and 5. So I'm going to bring the one that's circled, one of those outside, and then whatever's left over is going to stay on the inside. So we have 5 square root of 3. That's our answer. All right, moving over to 72. Square root of 72. I'm going to divide by 2. 72 divided by 2 is 36. Divide 36 by 2. We get 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And then 9 can be broken down between 3 and 3. So I'm going to circle my pairs. I got one pair over here. I don't have another pair of twos, but I do have another pair of 3s, or a pair of 3s. So I'm going to bring 1 2 outside, a 3 outside, and then whatever's left over is going to stay on the inside. So we have 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 squared root of 2 is my answer. All right. So that was the first 8 problems. Let's move on to rationalizing denominators. Okay, so if I have a square root in my denominator, whoa, I'm in my entire table. Okay, is I want to multiply by whatever the square root is that is in my denominator by a special form of 1. So I see I have a square root of 2, so I need to multiply by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. When I do that, right, I just kind of treat this radical right here like it is an x. So 3 times x would just be 3x. So 3 square root of 2 is how I write that. And then this is a way we can kind of skip a step here. For this first one, I'll show you kind of what we're doing. We do outside with outside, inside with inside. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. But we can see that, oh, the square root of 4 is 2, so 2 times 2. So a lot of times you can just go straight to 2 times 2. You don't have to do this extra step here. If that helps you, you can. But then we have 3 square root of 2 over 4 as our answer, which is B. All right, let's do the next one. Again, I'm going to skip a step for this one. I'm going to multiply by what the square root that's in my denominator of 2. Square root of 2 all over 2 times, and then this is just the square root of 4 or 2. So 2 square root of 2 all over 4, and then I'm going to simplify this. So 2 and 4 have a 2 in common, so I would divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2, and I'll get the square root of 2 over 2 as my answer, so B. Great. Number 11. Number 11, same thing. I'm going to start out with multiplying whatever the radical is in my denominator. So the square root of 3 over the square root of 3. 2 times the square root of 3 all over 3 times 9, the square root of 9, which is just 3. So 3 times 3. And then we have 2 square root of 3 all over 3 times 3, which is 9. So we look at our options. Look, A is our correct answer. All right. So over here we have a 6. We're going to multiply by the square root of 6 on either side, on top and bottom. So we do outside with outside. So 3 times 1 is just 3. 2 times 6 is the square root of 12. Then we do 2 times the square root of 36, which is just 6. So 2 times 6. And so we have 3 square root of 12 all over 12. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky. Okay, and there's only one like this on the review, but basically we need to take the square root of 12 and we need to simplify it. So let's kind of break it down like we would for those last problems we were doing. We'll circle our pair. We have 2 square root of 3. So I know that the square root of 12 is the same thing as 2 square root of 3. So I'm going to replace that square root of 12 with that. Oh, what am I doing? This should be 3. Sorry. So instead of having a square root of 12, I'm going to write 2 square root of 3 there. I'm going to multiply. And then we get 3 times 2, which is 6 square root of 3 all over 12. The 12 and the 6 have a 6 in common, so I'm going to divide the top by 6, and I just get the square root of 3. I'm going to divide 12 by 6, and I get 2. So the correct answer is C. All right. Let's go down to solving proportions. So with proportions, we cross multiply. So I'm going to cross 5. I'm going to do 5 times x plus 2 equals, and then we're going to multiply across 10 times 10, which is 100. If you missed that part of this lesson, you're not going to know what to do. So make sure you remember to cross multiply, and when you're looking at this, you know what to do, okay? Then we'll distribute. After that, it just becomes like a solving multi-step equations problem. We subtract 10. We get 5x is equal to 90. Divide both sides by 5. And we get x is equal to 18. All right, so let's move on to this next one. Again, I'm going to cross multiply. 4 times n plus 5, make sure you put that in parentheses, equals 7 times 8, which is 56. I will distribute the 4, so I get 4n plus 20 equals 56. I'll subtract 20 on either side, so I get 4n is equal to 36. Divide both sides by 4, I get n is equal to 9. So C. All right, cross multiply again. We get 4 times 4, which is 16, is equal to 2 times n plus 3. I will distribute. I get 16. All right, so I got interrupted again, but we will finish this review. Here we go. So the last thing I said is I distributed the 2n, or 2 to the n, and also 2 to the 3. So I get 6. And then I will subtract 6 on either side, so I get 10 is equal to 2n. Divide by 2, 5 is equal to n. So A. All right, and then we'll move on to this one. I'm going to cross multiply. 6 times 10 is 60. And then I'll do 3 times n plus 2. I'm going to distribute, and I get 60 is equal to 3n plus 6. I'm going to subtract the 6 on either side. I get 54 is equal to 3n. When I divide by 54 by 3, I get 18. All right, so hopefully you're getting all these right as you're working through the review. So we're going to get to the last page. This is the last part of the review. So let's go ahead and read this proportion. So 5 out of 10 adults, that's important. So we even write, we just want to keep that in mind. In a certain city, buy their drugs at large drugstores. If the city has 53,000 adults, how many of these adults would you expect to buy their drugs at large drugstores? So it says 5 out of 10. So 5 buy drugs at big stores. So I just say out of the adults, okay, these are, I would say, these represent the adults that buy the drugs. And when I'm talking about drugs here, I'm not talking about illegals. I'm just talking about, like, let's say blood pressure medicine or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just normal, everyday prescribed drugs, okay? And they buy them from large companies. Okay? Okay, large company drugs. And then these are just overall all the adults. So they said, okay, if this city has this many people, this many adults, then how many buy drugs at large drugstores? So the information I'm trying to find is out of this many, how many buy the large drugs? So we're going to equate these two. This is what I'm trying to find. This is what I know. So then from there I cross multiply. 5 times 53,000 equals 10x. And so that would be 265,000 equals 10x. I'll divide by 10. And so I get I'll just remove a 0. So that's 26,500 adults. So that would be A. All right. So let's move on to this next one. A can of lemonade with a measuring scoop and directions for mixing 4 scoops of mix for every 28 cups. So we do 4 over 28. So this is what we're we're measuring scoops of mix and then cups of water. So I'll put mix and then I'll put water just to label them, make sure I got them straight. And then it says how much water. So I'm trying to find my new measurement of water. Is it to make an entire can of lemonade if there are 40 scoops? So it's 40 scoops in that mix. So it's asking how much water do I need. So I'm going to cross multiply. I get 4x is equal to 28 times 40. Which is 1,120. And then I'm going to divide by 4. And that is 280. So 280 cups will make that, or cups of water will make the entire thing of lemonade. That's a lot of cups of lemonade. Let me divide that. I was going to do some more units, but we can figure out, maybe you can figure out how many gallons that would be. That'd be a lot of lemonade though. All right, so we'll move on to evaluating. It says evaluate the expression if x is equal to -2, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to -4. Obviously, z and x are not in this problem, so you're just going to look at y. So I'm just going to plug in anywhere I see a y, I'm going to plug in a 3. And so again, order of operations, we do exponents, then we multiply. So make sure you do exponents first. 3 squared is 9, and this becomes -54. And so -54 is my answer there. All right, then we're gonna do this next one. This time we are given x and we're given z. So here we go, we're just gonna plug in -2 for x, and then we're gonna plug in -4 for z. 15 times -2 is -30. -30 divided by -4 will give me a decimal, but that's okay. So we do -30 divided by 4, and that is 7.5. And so those two negatives give me a positive. So 7.5 is my answer. All right, moving on to this next problem. And I promise you, like, -7.5 is going to be an option, so just be careful with your signs when you're doing these problems, okay? All right, simplify the expression. So I'm just going to simplify. We get -12y. This is -42 minus 9. I'm going to combine like terms. We get -12y minus 51 is our answer. So we just distributed it, and then we combine like terms. So -12y minus 51 should be my answer. Here we'll distribute, same thing, distribute. Make sure you distribute to both, and then we're going to combine like terms. So this is 13x minus 6, and we are done. So that's it. That is your test review. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. Y'all are going to do great on this test. I just know it, but do the best you can. Work through this a couple of times, and then go ahead and take it and be done. I'll see y'all hopefully soon. All right, bye.